Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? Baby, do you know? Do you remember this beautiful lady? She had come out here talking about who the F did she marry. Do you remember her?
Hi, my name is Reesa, and about 2 years ago, February 2024, I did a 50-part series on social media called Who the F Did I Marry? And it blew up. There's no nice way to say it. It blew up. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people were talking about it. It was a crazy time. And subsequently after that, I ended up selling the rights of my story after I signed with a major talent agency, CAA. And I'm going to tell y'all something I learned after selling the rights to my story for it to be adapted into a television series. Baby, it takes years from the time you sell your rights to the time you get to the point of premiering on Thursday night on your local streaming network. Years. So I make this video to say to all the people who are like, where is this TV show? Where is the movie? What's going on? It's still in development and it takes years. I sold the rights in summer of 2024 and we are still in development. Yes, the ball is rolling, but it's a slow roll. It's a slow hip roll. And that's just how life is right now. The focus has moved, at least for me, my focus has moved more off of the TV show onto an upcoming book that I am releasing in August of this year called What the F Do I Do Now? It's crazy. If you thought the series was crazy, the book is kind of crazy. But that's my life. So it takes years, y'all. Did I know that when I signed the paperwork? No. But God is good. Everything happens in His timing.
She came out here in these streets and she talked about something that really touched my heart. And I said I would address it. Okay? No, I think I have it on my computer. Okay. So I will play it. I will play it here. Okay. All right, here we go.
So I have been seeing this whole discourse on my timeline about childless women and how, they are living their best life. They can come and go as they please, do what they want, when they want. And it got me thinking about a whole other group of women. So I wanted to send a special shout out to the women who are childless, but not necessarily by choice. They are childless by circumstances. These are the women who, listen, they put their name on the list. They wanted to sign up for the family size SUV. They wanted to sign up for family vacations, practices, running here, running there, games on the weekends, parent-teacher conferences, being the homeroom mom. They absolutely wanted that. They wanted 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 kids. And they thought that was what their life was going to be. But circumstances happen. It could be fertility issues. It could be the relationship didn't work out and they don't necessarily want to do it on their own. But nevertheless, they know that they are childless and they're able to come and go as they please and do whatever they want. But if you ask them, they would tell you this isn't the life that they thought they were going to be living. They wanted to experience pregnancy. They wanted to experience a baby shower. And they celebrate the people around them who are having baby showers and things of that nature and having their first or second baby. They don't even mind babysitting. But if you ask them, they would tell you, hey, I absolutely thought I was going to have 2 or 3 kids by now. And life happens. And instead of them wallowing and being depressed about it, they readjust. And so, yes, they do take vacations. Yes, they do come and go as they please. But shout out to those women who were like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I wanted kids. I did. I wanted them. I wanted the crazy feedings, the things that your body goes through when you're pregnant, the childbirth. They wanted all of that. But life happened. And so while they aren't necessarily childless by choice, they also are not, they haven't experienced motherhood. And so while there's so many different think pieces about having a baby and not having a baby and women who have kids versus women who don't have kids, personally, I celebrate both. If you were a woman and you know you don't want to have kids and you're like, ain't no way I'm doing it, I celebrate you. But I also celebrate the women who were like, no, I wanted to be a mom. I enjoy being a mom, and I celebrate that for them. But let's not forget that there is a group of women who find themselves kind of in the middle. And to those women, I simply say, you still matter. And I get it. I'm one of you. Life happened, and you're kind of readjusting to it. But let's be honest. You probably would have traded where you currently are for diapers and bibs and teething and all of those things, because that was what you actually wanted. And that's okay. And for whatever reason, it just has not happened. And whether it happens in the future or maybe your story will end differently, it's okay. Shout out to those women who are childless, but by circumstance, not necessarily by choice.
I talk about this a lot on the channel, and I always see in the comments, oh, I don't want to have children, I'm okay without having children. And I always have to say, darling, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the countless women that come into my DMs and they are dying to be mothers. Dying to be mothers. And I decided to do this episode because I was one of them for a very long time. I had always wanted children. I wanted 6. Would you believe it? I wanted to be a mother of 6. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever believe that I would be a mother of 1. Never. Never. And I am so grateful to this very day that I was able to be a mother of 1. As you very well know, I married when I was 40. I got pregnant at 48. I had Adrian at 49. So there's still hope for a lot of girls and a lot of women out there. I also understand how terribly expensive IVF is, because we did it 9 times. And if it wasn't for Ula, I promise you, I don't know. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money. It's extremely expensive to spend that kind of money and there are no results. You can only imagine how depressing and really, really, really depressing that is, and how it depletes you and other expenses and the strain that it can have on any relationship. Of course, they know that they can adopt. Of course, they know that they can go through surrogacy. But sometimes it's not a straight road at all. And these are women on their own who have not met that person. And again, like I said, Ula was such a fluke. He was such a fluke. I had made peace with the fact that I might not get married. I will never forget. I had turned 39 and I had brought out all of my credit cards and everything. And I had said to myself, Fumi, come and start planning for your future in California. Come and start looking for a place to buy. And my dreams, career-wise, was always the same. That I will continue doing what I was doing, have like a talk show and all of these things. That was always there. But, if it's not in the cards, then it's okay. I was one of those who really wanted, but I said, if it does not happen, it's okay. It was just happenstance. And that's why I say, girls, wear your makeup, get dressed, look fabulous, go out, go to the clubs, go to the diners, go to the bars, go to steak houses, go to libraries, go to sports events, go everywhere. Never say no to something, because the way I met Ula was so random. And it was because I was kind of sort of feeling good that day. I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. Last minute, I changed my mind. And I just said, okay, you know what, let me go. You never know. You never know. And of course, what she's saying is the traditional way of meeting somebody, getting pregnant together, having the baby shower, all of these things I never knew. And I had the most beautiful baby shower. It was as if God just blessed me for all of the time that I had to wait. That's why I'm pouring all of this into you. For those that wanted this for themselves, that really enjoy being a mother, that really love children, that have all of the patience for children, that have all of the financial resources for children. Again, the biological clock, I feel that sometimes it can be offensive. Oh, well, you can adopt. Of course they know they can adopt. Of course I knew I could adopt. But at the time, I wanted to try for me. I wanted to try for my loins. And look, it turned out that I did adopt because I adopted my friend's daughter. So I ended up having a girl and a boy. But you don't know how this life is. And you don't know how it turns out. And it wasn't traditional for me. Nothing is traditional for me. Look at what I do. Look at when I got married. Look at when I had my child. I have become an anomaly to everything that I was taught growing up. And that's why I say, with a source of encouragement, if you can't go through the door, then take the window, take the ceiling, go through the basement, carve out a life that you want and fight for it. And even then, it's not a straight and narrow, because I'm telling you here and now, I didn't have the money. And this is why I gave all of everything that I have, my clothes, my this, my that, to my single moms, because I know what single momhood can be like. It's not a joke. All the decision making, all the financial burden is on you. Anything happens to you, then what happens to your kids? Who wants to put themselves in that kind of position on a daily basis? But there are women out here also, not only that are single women, that are single women in marriages. And we always think that it's greener on the other side. We don't know, because a lot of women come out here and they pretend and they give out, yes, my life is this, that, and the other. Always have empathy, compassion for your fellow female woman, sister out here, because they are struggling with things that you do not know about. And I identify with this because I grieved the fact at 35, I'll never forget, because I left New York. From the modeling and everything, I was putting on weight. I wasn't as thin as I was for the runways. And I said, go to your first love, which is film, acting, showbiz, television, all of these things. And without the restraint of being bone thin. I was thinner than this. I know it's hard to believe, but yes, I was. By far. And I will never forget, I sat down. I tell you, I did a show where I was to act as a mother, and they gave me twins twin girls. They said, Fumi, these are going to be your children. I was doing extra work, but it wasn't necessarily extra. It was featured, where you were heavily featured, but you had no lines. You know what I mean? And I looked at these girls, and we had this scene because I was right by the principal for like a week. So I was with them for a week. And do you know that on the last day, these two little girls came and said, we wanted to give you something for our acting mommy, so for our on-screen mother. And I cried because I looked at them and I said to myself, this should have been my life. I should have had these children. Where did I go wrong? That's another thing. You blame yourself. And so I want us to have understanding, empathy, compassion, a lot of compassion for our sisters, because the guy just doesn't show up. I laughed with Ulam, later on. I was like, where were you already? But do you know what? I had a list of what my partner was supposed to be. But as I got older, when I tell you that I threw that list out, I was like, shoot, you know what? I'm calling who calls me. I'm loving who's loving me. I am checking out on somebody who's checking me out. And that was how I found my person. That was how I found my person. So it's neither here nor there. Lives. And life happens to a lot of our sisters. White, black, blue, green, you never know. You never know. If you told me that, Fumi, you'll be married at 40, that you would have a baby at almost 50, that you would start your brand at 52, I would have said absolutely. I would have laughed in your face. Because I had a boyfriend at 12. And I always had a long string of boys waiting in line to come and date Fumski Wumski. And here I married much later in my life. All of my friends were married. All of them were married. You see, this is why I put my water in this, because it spilled. It would have just thrown all over the place. All of my friends were getting married at 23, 24, 25. It was one wedding after the next. And I said, God, until I made peace with it. I said, for me, it just might not happen. But it does not mean that there are moments in your life as you get older that you wish it had happened. You wish that, the opportunity could have presented itself, in a way to adopt, to do IVF on your own, to do all of these things on your own. That's an option. The finance was not there. I'm telling you here now, I didn't have it. And then again, would you want to be a single mother? Everybody has their pros and cons, and they have to go with what works for them. But the bottom line is that we all started at go. And some of us didn't get what we wanted. And so we have to show empathy, compassion, and a lot of understanding, and be grateful. Also be grateful. Be grateful for what we do have. And I do that a lot when I feel frustrated, or I wish this, or I wish that. I say, for me, be grateful. Be grateful for your health. Start there. Because a lot of my friends now are passing away. They're very, very sick. And it's just hard to take it all in. I'm just like, but we were in school together. Why is my life, and why is her life? And it keeps me very humble. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to hit the notification button, and I'll see you sooner than later. All of my love. Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we, baby? Yes. We have new t-shirts, my darlings. We have our Powerpuff Superwoman. It had to be her. It could not be anybody else. As you very well know, she is the first and front and center of every episode, and she represents us. She represents all of us. She represents our strength. She represents our fabulosity. She represents eating our salads and minding our business. And baby, what is delayed is not denied. We have come out with the baby blue, and when you turn around, we have what is delayed is not denied. We did longer sleeves this time around for our girlies. For those of you that are conscious of your upper arms, I got you, mama. We also have what? The crew neck, so that you are comfortable with your limousine girlies and you can go everywhere and anywhere. We have no tags. Instead, I made sure that it was a print so that you have no reactions. There you go, my darlings. Are we living and loving? Beautiful cotton. Might I add that we ship internationally. We have it in our beautiful sky blue for a punch of color for spring. We also have it in cream, my darlings. Yes, yes, yes. And sizes small to 4X. I went out yesterday. Was it day before yesterday? And when I tell you the amount of compliments that I got, I screamed. I was like, is there something that I do not know? And I was so impressed with the amount of guys that said, I need this for my mom, I need this for my wife, I need it for my girlfriend, for my sister, for my cousins. And they just kept on asking. I was at the mall and it was unbelievable. You can tuck her in. It's a long tee and you will absolutely absolutely love her. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. Yes, darlings, the links are below. Go ahead and get yours. If we sell out, I will order more. All right? Love you, and thank you. Mwah.
Guys, my name is ENITAN, hair coach. I am UK's first ever hair coach and a trichologist. We are a team of trichologists and hair coaches here in W6 London, and we help those who are desperate and have tried and everything else has failed. We look after those who have chronic scalp concerns, flaky, itchy scalp that's been going on for many years. We help those that have hair loss that has progressed instead of improved, and we help those that just generally want to have a better understanding of better quality hair, length, volume, and reduce that dryness. Visit us by clicking